Hi, welcome to another YouTube Concast. We have a very special guest today, my dear friend Agnes Nyamayarwo, who I had the pleasure of meeting in 2009 when she came to North Carolina to be our keynote speaker at the YouTube conference. And many YouTube fans know Agnes's story, and they know her from the Heart of America tour. Agnes has just had an amazing life, and I'm so happy now that here we are looking at her book. I wanted her to just tell us a little bit about how she's doing now and why she decided to write her story down and share it with all of us. Her book is called Finding Solace, A Journey of Hope Through Tragedy. And Agnes, welcome. How are you?
Hi,
Yeah.
Scott. How are you? Glad to meet you, to see you. I wish I could meet you physically, but it's good we are talking.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm great. I'm feeling great at 70. I'm now living here in the UK because I had to leave Uganda and come here for the cancer treatment, which being monitored after the surgery, which happened in 2016. But I'm okay. I have my family around. I have my children. 6 of them live here in the UK, and their families, and I have grandchildren around. So I'm really happy. I'm a happy woman. But I never knew I would be here today to be able to see my grandchildren, to be able to see my children all through school. Now everyone is employed and they are on their own.
You're such a survivor of so many things, and you have this joyful spirit about you. It's coming through the screen. And I know you wanted to tell your story and share a message of hope with so many who are going through a hard time, and you've had your share of hard times. But can you talk a little bit about your book and why you've decided to write it now?
This book, Finding Solace, A Journey of Hope After Tragedy, is a book I started writing many years ago. I kept, starting and stopping. Earlier on, I didn't have the time because I was really busy looking after the children. And then before 2002, I was weakish. I started becoming weak, but after getting on treatment, uh, and I started gaining my energy, I focused on seeing the children through school. And after they were big enough, and I had a platform where I could go and share. Even in America, in the whole of our country, they know my story, and I would be sharing to encourage people to go for HIV testing, and then how to get treatment, and people to see that with this medication, which was not available, which had started being available. I've been able, I'm renewed, I'm strong enough, and I'm now bringing up my children. And now, as I wrote, I would write, but there are these very tough times of which would bring back very sad memories that I could not go on. I just write and put aside. I start another chapter, I write and put aside. I write at one time. I remember I shared with you, Scott. I wanted to give my son to type it. He tried to type it, he couldn't. Also, there are some chapters he could not go on. He said, they are too sad, man, I can't handle. So I just kept, but every time I would think about it, and I said, I really wanted to write this book. So, luckily enough, my daughter was on maternity leave, and she extended it, and we agreed to put everything together and review it, and put it into a book form.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book. And I was so happy when it was out. It is not big, it is small, but it is my own. I talk through this book because of all I went through, and I'm very, very happy that it's finally out there. And I wish people could get a chance to read it, especially people who have gone through difficult times, like, losing children, others, or with anything else. It may not be AIDS, it could be cancer, it could be a brain tumor, it could be COVID, which took so many lives, and somehow are still living with these COVID complications. It could be anything else. Somebody's had an accident and lost his. It's very, very hard when you lose a loved one to get through it. It doesn't go away. And I felt that maybe if I continued and wrote this book, maybe somebody who will read it, who is going through similar challenges, sad challenges like mine, would be able to get inspired and get encouraged to live on and see how to manage to go through, to swim through it.
I think you communicate that so well in the book. It's a story that you're telling of perseverance and finding strength in faith and in those around you. One of the really wonderful turn of events was you and Bono met and worked alongside each other for a time. And I know that's helped so many people, and it's meant quite a bit to you. But I watched your book launch video, which we're going to share in the comments below, a link to that. And it was so wonderful to hear from Lucy Matthews and her lovely words that she delivered from herself and also from Bono. Can you say a little bit about your history of working with him and how even to this day his support means so much to you?
Yeah, Bono, I was to tell my children that Bono was a God sent angel in 2000. He was a God sent angel because it's the time I was feeling that I might not make it that Christmas. That year, 2002, was a year of change. It changed my life and it gave me a lot of hope from the time I started taking those medicines which Bono bought and sponsored 25 of the drama group members, and me being the 26th. And there were a lot of rumors, these medicines, if you take them when you are weak, they will just kill you. They are very difficult to take, but we wanted to lead and take them. And I was like down for the first month as I was taking them, side effects. The second month, I started feeling better. After 2 months, I started feeling all the energy and the appetite coming, and I put on my normal weight again, and I was running around helping my friends. And everyone was like, well, how do we get to that treatment? How do we also get back to our normal self to be able to look after our families? So fortunately, because Bono didn't stop there, he came with a delegation where there was the Secretary of Treasury, and that time was Paul O'Neill, and the whole delegation was. I know that for us in Uganda, we knew there were celebrities coming, Bono and Chris Tucker, and we were really excited. But to me, I wanted to see what comes out of the Secretary of Treasury. Is he going to give us a hope for treatment? And but before that came, Bono said, these are the fighters, and they should start now. We won't wait for the funding. So I'm very, very grateful, and I always think and I always imagine, and my children were so excited to see me starting to gain my energy back after starting on the treatment. So as a woman of faith, I always feel Bono was a God-sent angel at that point. Maybe I would not be here today.
Well, we're so glad you are, and what an amazing story of one person, passing on hope, and then and medicine and faith and generosity, and then here you are.
Maybe the other thing I wanted to thank Bono for is to give me a platform to be able to talk, to be able to, as he did the work of advocacy, to do advocacy with Bono was very, very important, so that a lot of people have been on treatment, they have survived, they have seen their children grow, they have lived a good life, and many more are still living. And we had two types of funding. We had PEPFAR funding, which was really worked very well with TASO, and then we had the global fund. So and for me, when I hear like President Bush, to me, President Bush means saving our lives, because he's the one who gave us the treatment at first. He's the one who signed to make sure that people in Africa get. I don't know him as a president who did anything else, but he saved our lives in Africa and in other countries who needed this treatment.
Agnes, would you please explain a little bit about what your name means and how it's connected to having hope?
Yeah, my name, Agnes, means pure, like pure, and being pure, you have to tell the truth and be yourself. That is the name, my Christian name. But my name, Nyamayarwo, I inherited it from my husband, because when you get married, you get your husband's name. And Nyamayarwo means, when you translate it, it means like meat of death or beef of death. Like the death is waiting to eat you. So Nyamayarwo being a negative name, but it's a name that also gives you hope to fight on, to not to be eaten by the by the disease.
Right. Wow.
So I think it brings out that even with HIV, I remained strong and had the will to live. All the time I continued living, I had the will to live. Even before ARVs, I would try to read testimonies from other people. I would read like literatures I would get to see how do I survive on, because every time I was thinking about my children, I have to live on for my children. And they have been a very, very courage. They have been giving me a lot of courage. They gave me a lot of courage that time, and they did very well to keep me strong, to do well in school. So That is the name, the meaning of that name, Nyamayarwo.
Agnes, the strong, pure one who defeated death and ran out of death's grasp to tell this story. I love that. Yeah, thank you. I think everybody should read your book. Everybody needs it. Everybody should go find the link below and support Agnes. So if you're out there, YouTube fans, and you're paying for Bono's book, don't forget, and there's another book that you just need to have too, and it just came out, and it's just as important. And it may be just the thing that you need. It's good to see you, Agnes. Take care. Be well. Say hi to your whole family.
Thank you very much, and pass all my regards and love to your family and to the two fans, and we love you, all of you.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.